Oh.
You down at the river? All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get the Monday morning meeting, Shelby County Board of Commissioners. This is Monday, July 7th, 2025. First item on the agenda is approval minutes for June 30th meeting.
I'll move to approve minutes for 6/30/2025.
I'll second.
Have a motion second. All those in favor signify in the affirmative. Minutes pass 3-0. Next up, we have claims. The last 2 weeks. Last month, I apologize. Seek a motion to approve claims.
Move to approve claims.
Second.
Have a motion second. All those in favor signify in the affirmative.
Aye.
Aye. And pass. Sheriff Cook, any updates from law enforcement and jail side?
The part for the air conditioner should be getting here there tomorrow. The roundabout price is about $20,000.
Benefit of having to get a part for Canada, I suppose. It's just another July. It's just July 4th for them as opposed to yeah.
$100,000.
Yeah. So
You gotta sit in dispatch, I gotta do these.
No.
so
Find someplace in the basement to go today.
appreciate you and the staff's work to try to address and mitigate that issue on a busy hot weekend. So yeah. Appreciate the work you and the jail staff did to try to mitigate that situation. So Dennis, any updates from EMA?
I'd like to introduce my new deputy. This is Brad Spear. He comes from Decatur County to us. 6 years, is that correct? 6 years experience EMA director at Decatur County. So today's his first day. Thank you. So we, as soon as we leave here, we gotta go pick up the message boards down in Waldron. We had them down there for the traffic control for the 4th of July fireworks show.
That was nice, yeah.
They work out really well. Now I got to get them back up to Knopf because of the road being closed up there. But so just wanted to introduce him. I'll be taking him around the next few days, introducing him to the department heads and stuff.
Great.
Yep, well, thank you, appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
Excited to have you on board. We're lucky that we've got an active and engaged EMA department, and certainly to have you, contribute to that. Dennis, you touched upon the Waldron Festival. I was on duty, Saturday night, so I listened to the operations of that on the radio, and to everyone that was involved with the planning and organization of that community festival. What a great job. What an awesome representation of kind of a grassroots movement to celebrate, small towns and local communities. So hats off to everybody involved with Waldron Will, and excited to see it grow even more next year. So Tisha, you've had a eventful few days in dispatch. So for those that don't know, dispatch experienced a couple of outages that were immediately caught. You guys put into motion your backup procedures. Police, fire, EMS got to the places they needed to go. Did you guys find the root cause of it was a
The information on what it was.
Okay.
It's not uncommon.
was it a state issue? Was it a issue on our end?
I believe it was a state issue because, our local, the ones that usually come out to try to fix it, said that it was not on, there was a vacancy, so.
Okay. Appreciate you guys, working through those challenges. Makes an already difficult job even more stressful. So, yeah, appreciate it. Ben, what you got over highway?
We received a quote from Pavement Solutions to do chip sealing in the county this year for us. Their quote was for 80 cents per square yard applied for the 10 miles of chip seal. We were requesting for a total quote of $93,864. I can seek a motion to approve that quote for Pavement Solutions.
I'll move to approve the quote for Pavement Solutions for the 93,864.
I'll second.
Having the motion second, all those in favor signify in the affirmative. Aye. And just kind of public education as far as, why chip sealing. I know that, public experience and my experience with chip sealing kind of has a, come on, really, type of connotation to it. Chip sealing, the technology has changed to where you don't have to place as much aggregate stone on top of the road that you're intending to resurface. And as everybody knows, our property tax structure has changed, and road funding structure has changed fairly substantially with recent legislative impacts from the state of Indiana. So one of the things the three of us have asked Ben to look for is to do more with less, essentially. And also to be, somewhat more proactive with regards to to maintaining what roads we have. So over the last several years, we've actively been trying to attack, repaving, building up the base of roads that previously had been, dirt roads and gravel roads essentially. We feel like we've got that good foundation within the county. Now we are trying to look at options that maintain and preserve. And chip sealing does a very good job of that. Provided you do it before a ton of, damage, wear and tear has been done on a road. So the application technology has changed for chip sealing. It doesn't create the massive piles of unused aggregate that just gets sloughed off. And the financial benefits for it are pretty pretty noteworthy as well. Just for everybody's information, a mile of paved road can cost about $70,000 a mile. To chip seal and surface the road, you're looking at anywhere from, in the $20,000 a mile range. So this is something the three of us have asked Ben to look at. We're going to begin trying to utilize this newer application technology, see the results on that. And if the results, pan out, then it's something we're going to explore, more and more with respect to preservation purposes, as opposed to resealing, or as opposed to just throwing another layer of asphalt on top of road surfaces. So appreciate Ben taking a look at that, identifying roads that are good candidates for chip sealing. And as that project moves forward, we'll try to give everybody a heads up as to when and where those projects take place.
Ben, you had showed me a map at one point, all the roads you plan on repaving the whole county. Is there a smaller version of that we can condense down and somehow put on our website, or somehow get that out for the general public? So we know that these roads are all going to be paved this summer, and highlighted in green are the ones that are going to be chip sealed. Doesn't necessarily have to have dates and stuff, but
Yeah, I mean, I can try to compile a list of roads. I think it'd probably be easier to just put out those segments instead of trying to put a map on the website. I think that would be a little harder. Amy's shaking her head, but I think we could compile a list of roads that are up to be resurfaced this year, the 10-mile segments that are going to be redone. And then we're also looking into doing a lot of crack sealing this fall. We could also put a list of those and maybe upload those on the website, make it a little easier. And then once we get dates narrowed down for this chip sealing, it should only take them about 3 days. We can get that list put up so people live on those roadways know to expect delays. But with chip seal, it's more of a rolling process. They're in and out a lot faster. It's not going to be a 3 or 4 days per mile like it is to resurface, where you go in, prep, mill and lay or overlay. This will be a lot quicker of a process, but when it gets closer to time and we got dates narrowed down, I can get with Amy, and then I can try to compile a list of what we have planned to resurface still yet this year and get that posted.
And be patient, because it's gonna take a few days for it to all settle back down and get to where, you get a week or two past, and then that should all be kind of rolled in and firmed up, and we just feel like it's gonna be a good way for us to maybe save these roads a little longer and not add another layer. We've had a lot of concern, with the edges of the roads, and this is a way for us to help mitigate that a little bit, not by reversing what's done, but just not by adding more to it and creating more of a problem where we already have them. So, I mean, we're trying to do some things to help, mitigate that issue just a little bit.
And the price roughly per mile of chip seals was what?
About 20,000 a mile.
And then to repave without milling, just to repave over is about how much?
About 70,000, but that's our resurfacing, that's solely prices per tonnage of asphalt. That does not.
You doing all the work?
That does not include everything else. The 20,000 a mile for the chip seal
It's out.
on average includes their labor, trucking, oil, aggregate, everything. So to put that into perspective, you're probably looking, if you're going to contract out a mile of roadway to be milled out, prepped, resurfaced by another company, I don't have exact numbers, but on average, you're probably looking around 125,000 a mile
Versus 20,000 miles.
versus 20,000. And that may be a little high. Like I said, I'd have to look back to CCMG to see what O'Mara's bids were on the recent CCMG to know exactly what it's on average per mile, but it's pretty pricey. And while touching base with that, just to let everybody know, our contractors on our CCMG projects from 24-2, they will be beginning to do full depth patching, some base work on 600 North by Triton School and 800 East north of St. Paul today. They will be milling 600 North along Triton School tomorrow, and then 800 East north of St. Paul on Wednesday, with the resurface to come shortly after. They've already coordinated with Triton Central Schools to let them know. They've granted them access to park some equipment there on one of their lanes in their parking lots to assist with speeding that process, just to let the public know that milling will be going on this week and then resurfacing shortly after.
Thanks, Ben.
Mike Carpenter, you had a hand up. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, when you do the chip seal, does it have a lifespan where you expect it to still be good?
So the state's
Expiration date?
state specs are, when you chip seal a roadway, they believe the preservation is 5 to 7 years is what it does not improve it, but it will preserve it in a better state than it is for 5 to 7 years is the lifespan of a chip seal. Mhm.
Trying to do more with less, maintain level of, service while being as fiscally responsible as possible. So, Donna, Desiree, Mike, you guys have anything from your departments?
So to be in compliance with the state, the new laws about the recordings and stuff, Shelby County will be downloading our meetings to YouTube after every meeting. I tried to get a hold of Ben to see what to Google when you're searching for our meetings, but he hasn't answered yet, so I'll let you guys know that, but I have the instructions here, so it'll be downloaded after the meeting, so people can start using the YouTube to watch. And they'll be out there, I thought it had to be out there for so long, but I read it was only 90 days. So
You guys still gonna come to our meetings or are you gonna be on YouTube or something?
they'll just be out there. We're still on Zoom live. But if you want to watch them later, then.
I like to see their smiling faces.
Love it when you come.
Yes, I do. I have a request to dispose of. It's from the Highway Department, a trash pump. It was purchased in 2010. This item was stolen from a job site. We did get insurance reimbursement and we also got reimbursement for the pump that we had to rent. I would like to ask the request to dispose of that.
We're disposing of something that was stolen that we don't have.
We have to do this to get it off the inventory. We have an inventory process.
You can dispose of a trash pump we don't have. You could make a motion to, that's fine. Take it off the inventory list.
I'll second.
Have a motion and second. All those in favor, signify by any firm.
Aye.
Aye. Anything else for us, Diane?
No, I do not. That's right. Thank you.
Anybody in the audience or on Zoom for the good of the cause?
Good morning, it's Blake Newkirk. I just wanted to say thank you for getting 750 West done. I thought maybe by the end of summer, y'all had it done by the end of the holiday week. It is very much appreciated, so thank you.
You can thank Ben.
So
Thank you, Ben.
Thank my guys. They went out there and, well, our guys, I say my, but they are ours. All of the county employees work for all the residents. And so we appreciate you letting us know. And that's something we try to tell everybody is if you see something, please call and let us know. Especially during the summertime, during construction season, vast majority of our crew are dedicated to the paver, still trying to upkeep. Everything else, like I've told people when they've called before, we have 830 miles of roadway. So when you have 80% of your crew dedicated to assisting 1 mile and working on the reconstruction on 1 mile of roadway, there's still 829 that aren't being driven by our crew. So please don't hesitate to reach out. If you see something that needs done, let us know because it may be quite some time before our guys come across work that needs to be done. So.
Thanks, Blake.
Anybody else?
Hey, gentlemen, Michael Carpenter, 400 South, Shelby County. I have a couple questions I wanted to ask about the broadband hearing. As I understood, Thomas John, they said that the next step in the process was to have the hearing. Am I correct in assuming that you have an agreement in hand ready to give to the council?
We do not, because of the changes in the funding from ARPA.
Huh?
It's being reworked right now to comply with the requirements.
Does the process require the council to schedule their own hearing, or does that come from the commissioners?
I believe since it would be a fiscal determination that it would require council.
Mutually.
And as of right now, they talked about getting, because the contract had to be reviewed and everything, they're talking about putting it on the August agenda. But we'll have to wait. Our county, not John, the council's attorney, Jody Butts, is reviewing all that. So we will know more as she gets into the contract and dealing with everybody. So it'll be ready for August.
I think you had a good suggestion a couple of weeks ago when you suggested that Mr. John and George from Nine Star and the other gentleman come before the council and give the presentation they gave at the commissioners meeting. That was a good idea. They did a really good job. Would it be possible to get a copy of the contract before it's given to the council?
If it doesn't have any type of, information from Nine Star that, quite frankly, they don't want their competitors to, I don't see a reason why not, but that's a question that would have to be brought forth with Nine Star.
Okay. I had a wish list that I wanted to see in the contract itself. And Mr. John addressed two of those issues. The one issue they didn't address was a dispute resolution language that allows the customer to get any results that they have a problem with Nine Star, have that dispute resolution included in the contract. Maybe
The knowledge that the draft included dispute resolution processes and specifically required timelines for how long it takes for them
progress.
not project progress, but, dispute resolution and fixing of problems on the customer end. Contact with, tech support, contact with, in-field, technicians. It required time maximums for those, where the customer calls and they're not waiting for 2 weeks for somebody to come up. So to my knowledge, the draft included those stipulations.
As I understand, the article that was in the newspaper that covered the presentation that they gave. Am I correct in assuming that everyone within the county will have the opportunity to have internet service when it's done?
No, if we wanted to put fiber access within the entire county, that's $100 million project. Yeah. The goal of this is to create branching off points that make it far more likely that internet service will be available, that fiber service will be available to constituents throughout the county. But to get fiber access to every address in the county would be over $100 million of fiber in the ground. And, that's
Not feasible.
yeah, as much as I'd love to be able to say that, that's not realistic. It's not fiscally prudent.
I remember Mr. Johns talking about the loop that's going to be put in and the possibility of other internet companies hooking onto the loop, which seemed like it was a good thing. Is it possible to evaluate after the project is done and completed, how many homes are still left unserved? And maybe estimate a cost factor for getting them included in the future if funds become available?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be the same process that we've gone through for the last 2 years, basically, but, it's,
So the loop was supposed to hit roughly 1,700 homes.
1,700, I think that's what Mr. Johns said.
Our contribution was around 3 million to that.
Is there any estimate how many homes would not be included in that 17?
So in the county, there's roughly almost 9,000 residents through the whole county. There's about another 9,000 within the city limits. So about 10 and 10,000 in the county, 10,000 in the city. So that loop, 3 million would roughly hit about 1,700 of and then we could start hitting some of the isolated areas once we get the 465 of the internet.
Just curious, the fiber optic lines that were laid, 20 years ago, maybe? Are those lines being utilized as part of this project?
Some of those lines are privately owned that are connected like big data centers. So from like Indianapolis, so they can't, once you tack so many lines off of a fiber line, you start branching off. It narrows the speed. It's like supply of water or whatever. And you start branching off to all these houses. So those are owned by some big corporations that they privately put in to connect certain locations. So those are not just like, it's an endless supply of internet just coming through there. They have so much information.
So the more lines that are connected to the loop, the more it dilutes the strength? Is that right?
I think you're talking apples and oranges. The best analogy would be like, some of the older lines that you're talking about, are not, to be accessed by individual customers. They are the equivalent of a gas main, or that is pumping gas from one area to another. So you can't hook your house up to the gas main that goes out of the plant in Marietta, that type of thing.
So they're considered to a specific purpose then.
Correct, and those were privately installed. You know, 20, 30 years ago, county, in conjunction with the hospital and a couple of the schools ran some nominal fiber lines in a couple of sections throughout the county. Those are still being utilized. Those were obviously evaluated for the purposes of expansion. They're still working fine. That's the beauty of fiber is it you know, it works. It's pushing light through glass, but the contribution of those fiber lines and the prospect of expanding those to fill the gaps that we have, it didn't make sense to branch off of those. We got more bang for our buck, so to speak, by placing the fiber assets in a geographic manner that allowed for branching off and serving more in the future.
Do you have internet at your house?
Yes, sir.
What are you using right now?
Cast.
You have Comcast already?
Mhm.
Are you wanting to use 9 Star? Are you happy with your Comcast?
My wife is having more problems than I am because she uses it more for her business. It's a bother when you're watching a movie and then you get this little circle going around and about 15 seconds later, the movie continues. So I'm guessing we're overextending the.
That's a fiber already ran to your house?
It's probably coax.
It's a cable.
It's
Cable, okay.
wireless, yeah.
Yeah.
A dish,
Oh, wait. Oh, you have a dish on your house for the Comcast?
yes.
You don't have like a cable running?
No, there's no cable. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, move to adjourn drainage board to follow.
Adjourn.
Second.
I don't think we have a very important
No, there's not.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Oh.
I thought we did too the other day.
Okay, that's,
Second Tuesday of the month, isn't it?
No, it's the first Monday of the month.
Oh, it's Monday.
So you would.
I know.
It is the second, well, tomorrow.
Now it's nuts.
everybody is getting back into swing of things after 4th of July, so move to adjourn.